Today I'm going to be sharing 5 different ways for you to use real flowers in your wax seals. So let's jump in. Technique number 1 is pressed flower seals. For this first seal, these are the easiest ones and they are also my favorite. So you're going to need some sealing wax that's warmed up in a low temp glue gun, and I'm just going to do 1 squeeze, and I'm going to place in my dried flowers on top, and then I'm going to use a blank stamp to cover. So the key with these ones are you're going to do a layer of wax, your flower layer, and they could be any type of dried pressed flower that you want. Like any type of these will work great, but you're going to do wax, flower, press with a blank stamp, and the blank stamps are the ones that don't have a design on it. So this is the very first option. So once it's cooled, I'm going to pull it off, and it should just come off really easily. And there you have it, this cute little seal. What I love to do, especially with these baby breath flowers that are dried and pressed, I'll just use some little scissors, embroidery scissors, just to snip off that bottom stem. It's easier to get it off that way than using your hand. So that is the first option, or first way to make a wax seal with flowers. Let's go to number 2. Technique number 2 is 3-dimensional flower shapes. So to make this seal, what you're going to want to choose is a stamp that will work. So I have these dried flowers, and I actually found them while I was hiking. So I just saved them and dried them, and they're like just these little bunches of flowers. And so what I want to do is put them in the top. So like the example that I have already made, I'm using this vase one, and then I'm just filling the flowers in the top. So that's super cute. Another option would be a stamp like this. You know, we could put some of these flowers in the top part, or here the flowers could cover where all the ginkgo leaves are, so you just see the stems. Or for a wreath, you could kind of just randomly place a few of them in. This is definitely like a dimensional seal, so it's not something you would mail, but something very decorative that could be really cute. So I'm going to show you how to make it with this cute little vase and floral stamp. The first thing that you'll do is pour your sealing wax, and I'm using vellum. It comes out looking clear, but once it's pressed, it looks more translucent, like this example. So the first thing, we have to let this cool, then we're gonna add the gold. Once it's cooled, I'm gonna pull it from the stamp. So this is how it's looking. The next thing I'm gonna do is add with my Krylon gold leafing pen. I'm just gonna add gold to only the vase. And I wanna do this before I do the flowers in case I mess it up and get gold everywhere. So I'm gonna finish coloring that little vase in. So the next step is going to be to add on these little flowers. So I'm just going to start in the center here, and I'm just going to put a tiny bit more of that vellum sealing wax in. Then I'm going to take a bunch of the flowers, a little bunch, and I'm just going to press it right in. And that's the base of it. So I actually love the proportion of that to this little vase, but because there's still some design here, I'm going to add a few more to kind of cover that up. Okay, so I'm gonna add a little bit more sealing wax over here, and I'm gonna be careful to try to not get it on the flowers. And I kind of twist it to get it to come off without leaving a string. And I'll just take these and put them in. Oops. Kind of press down a little bit. So we've got that little bunch in. And then we're just going to do this last little bunch over on this side. And so that's it. It's a cute little vase with real flowers coming out of it. Technique number 3 is adding flowers to the lip of your seal. So these little flowers are going to work perfect for this, but I'm going to want to trim them off. But I'm leaving a tiny bit of the stem on, and I'm choosing the ones that are the most open. And I think I'll only have time to really do 3, but I'll get 5 off just in case. So I'm gonna then, this one you have to be quick. As soon as I pour, I'm gonna work as quickly as I can to put these flowers onto the side of the seal. So I'm gonna set them out so they're easy to grab, all kind of facing the same direction. We'll see how many we can get in. So I'm gonna do 1 squeeze of the white wax, 1.5. I'm gonna press, and then I'm gonna take these and put them in along the side. And ideally, don't drop any, because that cuts into your time. There, we'll let it cool and see how it comes out. All right, let's take this off and see how it came out. Oh my goodness, I love it so much. So these flowers are great because they're still small, but they're not super tiny. And leaving that stem in kind of makes it like sticks in well. But look at that. So it does, this is again one of those that it sticks off. There's the back. So this is not to mail, but super cute and gorgeous. And I mean, I could even add some gold to that bee, and I feel like that would just make it. Technique number 4 is adding flower confetti to your seals. For confetti seals, you're gonna need either blank seals or a seal that has a lot of blank space on it. So the first thing we'll do is just pour the sealing wax. Got about 1 squeeze. And then we're just gonna take a few of these little dried pressed flowers and drop them in kind of around. And you don't have to be too particular about this. And then we'll press. If we were to do this one, we could do the same thing. We would just want to not put any flowers where the little bow is. So we'd want to just put maybe a couple along the top. That was a big piece. And a couple on the bottom, and then just try to make sure we get that bow more centered. Let's see how these turn out. Okay, so these ones, when you pull them off, it's more like splashes of color. It's kind of like just little pieces of confetti in there. Look how this one came out. This one's cute because you can still see the bow, but so these ones are really fun. You're not gonna get like the obvious, like it's not obviously gonna look like a flower in there every time, but it's more like adding color in a fun, natural way. So that's how to make these ones. And tip number 5 is using flowers as a background on hot glue seals. For this last technique, what we'll need are the flowers first, then we're gonna go over it with hot glue. And sometimes hot glue doesn't melt as easily as sealing wax, so it takes several more pumps to get out the right amount. So I'm gonna be doing the flower part kind of behind here. All right, let's make one more. So I've got the flowers down, I'm putting the glue. I have my ice cold stamp here. I'm just gonna press it in. We'll let these cool. So I'll just take off these seals. You can see how cute it's gonna be. The pink is just kind of acting as a background, the flowers. So then what I'm gonna do is go over it with my Krylon gold leafing pen and just color the raised portions of the design. So for these seals, the flowers really are more of the background instead of the focal point. But I mean, look how adorable that is. It looks like it's part of the bouquet. This one, let's see how this one comes out once we add the gold. And this one again, the pink is just acting more like a background, the pink flowers, than a focal point. So let's see how this one looks close up. So cute, just little pops of flowers in the background. I love it.